Hello, today I bring you my September wrap-up. It hasn't been the best reading month, but alas, we shall continue. My library read for the month this month was Swallowing the Sun by David Parks. I picked this up purely on the base of the title. I mean, that is a good title, Swallowing the Sun. Quite enjoy that. This is basically, it's about, what's his name? I'm awful with names. Martin, who grew up in Ireland, and he had quite a violent father, and we get to know more about that throughout the book, but basically this is him grown up. He's moved out of his hometown, and he's sort of made quite a life for himself. He's got 2 lovely children and a wife, and something tragic happens, which sort of brings up stuff from the past and messes up the peaceful life that he has been living. I won't tell you what that something is, purely because I went into it not knowing what that was, and it took me by surprise, and there was a moment where I was like, no. And that was the best moment of this book for me. Sadly, this didn't ring all my bells. It's quite short. I think if I had sat down and marathoned it in a day, it would have had that bam, bam, bam effect for me. But because I read it over a few days, it didn't really have that wham, bam, thank you kind of feel for me, which is a shame. I mean, it was a good book. I enjoyed the twist, and the ending I thought was really beautiful. And if I, as I say, had read it all in one pop or 2 pops, I think it would have had the effect that it needed to have. But for me, it just fell a bit short. It was okay if you want to read it, if it sounds like your cup of tea. But for me, it was average. It was alright. I wouldn't rave about it, but I'm glad I got it out from the library. I'm glad I read it. It was interesting, but I wouldn't go mad for it, to be honest. I read F. Scott Fitzgerald's Tender as the Night. I have done a full review of this. I will link down below if you want to check that out. I'll just talk about it briefly here. Really enjoyed it. Another F. Scott Fitzgerald that just blew me away. His writing is spectacular. I wouldn't even care what these books were about. I mean, his writing just does it for me. It's much the same as most of his other books. It's sort of about the higher society and sort of mocking the people in the high society and the fact that their lives are unravelling, etc., etc. But it's just, I just love him so much. Then I read A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. This is number 2 of Storm of Swords, Blood and Gold. Well, all I can say about this is what a game changer. I mean, this just blew me away in unexpected turns and twists that I just didn't see coming. And I'm very, very surprised that I didn't get spoiled about a lot of them because of everyone talking about the series and everything. And yes, just very surprised that I didn't know what was going to happen in this. So I won't say too much because I don't want to spoil you. This book actually was kind of the reason that my reading month wasn't great. It's pretty thick and the writing's pretty small, so it did take me a while, but I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and hoping to zoom through the series now because it's taken me a while to get to this point. But yes, enjoyable. I liked it. There was parts of this where it got a bit draggy, but it was fun. It's a lot more now about the wall and things in this one. We followed Jon Snow a lot more, which is good because he's one of the best characters in my opinion, and I think a lot of people love him, but he's one of those that's sort of been sporadically spaced throughout. He's one that we've seen less chapters of, so it was good to see more of him in this one. And yeah, just what was going on there, I just didn't see any of it coming at all. Then this is a bit of a tea. I finished this month, but I've been reading it for a while. It's What We Talk About When We Talk About Love by Raymond Carver. I've been reading this on and off. It's a short story collection, and I've just been picking it up here and there. I have a funny relationship with Raymond Carver. This is the second short story collection of his I've read. I've also read Shortcuts, and he's a strange one. He's a very minimalist short story writer. His stories almost leave you thinking, huh? But I think as I'm getting more used to that style, I'm beginning to enjoy it and seeing it sort of coming out in my own short stories, which is quite interesting. It's, he's a strange one. Yeah, I don't know if I like him or not. I don't know if I would necessarily choose to read him, although obviously I do. But if I wasn't sort of writing short stories myself, I don't know if I would really like him. There was one in this that I really enjoyed, which was Gazebo. I really liked Gazebo. I really liked the sort of conversations that went on in that story. And the title story, What We Talk About When We Talk About Love, is probably one of his better well-known ones. And that's a really good story as well. Although, again, it's kind of like, meh? But there's just, it's not even, there's something beautiful about his writing. And I do enjoy him. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one. Then I read Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher. This is a YA novel about a girl who is writing letters to somebody on death row about a crime she has committed and gotten away with, and she feels obviously the need to reveal that crime to somebody and to have somebody to talk to. We never get to see, I mean, obviously he doesn't send letters back to her, and so it's a very one-sided correspondence. It's basically just her telling her story. And I really enjoyed this. The writing style was good. I'm definitely going to pick up Annabelle Pitcher's other novel, My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece. I liked the style a lot. It was very tongue-in-cheek, but also obviously quite an important issue. And I love the way her books are manufactured with just these little, they've all got sort of bits on the pages. It's just simple, but it just makes them so pretty. And it's also quite a nice marker of how far you've gotten. I'm going to read you actually the first little section of this because I think the first paragraph is excellent. It says, Dear Mr. Harris, ignore the blob of red in the left corner. It's jam, not blood, though I don't think I need to tell you the difference. It wasn't your wife's jam the police found on your shoe. Who couldn't like that first paragraph? It was excellent. I really enjoyed it. It was funny and also very touching, and the romance scenes in this I think were done excellently. A lot of the time YA romance can be a bit questionable, but I think the romance in this was really touching and really lovely. And yes, it was good, it was good. Then, finally, I read Robert Rankin's The Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse. I saw this on Mercedes' channel and thought it sounded quite interesting. It's basically about a boy called Jack who he is travelling to the city to make his fortune. And he ends up in Toy City where everyone's toys and it's all sort of, people are sort of rare in this place, and he makes friends with a teddy bear called Eddie, and it's all a bit bizarre. And then he ends up, Eddie is a detective's bear, he's Bill Winky's bear, or Little Wee Winky as we know him, and he ends up going on this detective mission with Eddie to find out why, well, Humpty Dumpty has been murdered, and Georgie Porgy and things like this, lots of nursery rhymes start getting murdered, basically. The sort of, in this Toy City, they are the royalty, and they keep getting murdered, and they go on a mission to find out why. It was enjoyable, it was funny, it was bizarre. If you like sort of quite dark, black humour, it kind of put me in mind of the humour of Douglas Adams. Obviously very different, but the humour was sort of the same kind of thing. And it was enjoyable. It did drag in places, but I think if I had read it a bit quicker, it wouldn't have. It took me about a week to read, and it's not that thick. So I think a lot of the time with books, my pacing is wrong. And if I sat down, like I didn't sit down for a large chunk of time to read this, it was sort of bits here and there. But it was funny, I enjoyed it, and I really liked the ending. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it for anyone who likes something a little bit different and a little bit bizarre. So that's everything. So not the greatest reading month, but it could have been worse, and I did read a beast of a book in there as well, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much about that. I hope everybody else's reading months went well. Bye!